10:10. And if you're just getting started with us after the holiday break, Happy New Year. I'm Carl Lazus, always glad to have you watching. An event is taking place tomorrow near the border between North and South Korea that hasn't happened in more than 2 years. High-level representatives from the North will meet face-to-face with high-level representatives from the South. After a phone call heard around the world last week, when an official from the North spoke to an official from the South, the line of communication opened back up. South Korea suggested that North Korea hold talks in person, and the North accepted. And according to the South Korean Unification Ministry, a group that works toward diplomacy with its northern neighbor, the topics will include, quote, issues related to improving inter-Korean relationships, including the Pyeongchang Olympic Games. North and South Korea used to be one country, but today, most experts on the region say reunification is not likely, mostly because the two nations' governments are so different from one another. Would the communist government of North Korea be willing to give up its autocratic control and be absorbed by the South? Or would voters in the democratic country of South Korea choose to be ruled by the northern government? Those answers are almost certainly no. But the fact that the two sides are talking in a setting that's unlike anywhere else in the world is considered a breakthrough.
The Korean Demilitarized Zone, a place where two worlds collide, dictatorship and democracy staring each other down.
It's a very, very vivid reminder of just what's at stake on the peninsula.
The first official talks in 2 years between North and South Korea will be held in Panmunjom, the so-called truce village, straddling the 38th parallel, the tense dividing line between two neighbors still technically at war. Delegations from both sides of the DMZ will be sitting a stone's throw away from the path a North Korean soldier took in November in a dramatic defection, shot 5 times, running south. The talks will take place in Peace House, one of 3 buildings in the truce village built specifically for discussions like this. 2 in the south, 1 in the north.
Sometimes the two Koreas have disagreements over which side the talk should be on.
This time, they're on the south side. North Korean officials will likely pass through the same blue huts I first visited in 2015, the year the last round of marathon talks took place, lasting some 44 hours, nearly 2 days.
In favor of armed intervention.
To understand the DMZ, we need to go back to the end of World War II. The Soviets and Americans divided Korea just like they did Germany. Most historians say the communist North tried to get it all by invading the South. The North says it was the other way around. Technically, the war never ended. An armistice agreement put both Koreas back on their side of the dividing line. A standoff nearly 65 years and counting. Today, North Korea is facing its toughest sanctions ever over leader Kim Jong-un's rapidly advancing nuclear program.
For the North Koreans, the motivation to take part in these talks is undoubtedly due to the pressure that is building up on the country.
Pressure that only stands to increase in 2018 unless both sides find a diplomatic path, a path that begins here in Panmunjom, a painful reminder of the region's violent past, tense present, and uncertain future. Will Ripley, CNN, Seoul.
10-second trivia. What is the only company in the Dow Jones Industrial Average that was one of its original stocks in 1896? General Electric, Travelers, J.P. Morgan Chase, or Coca-Cola? When the Dow was created in 1896, it included 12 industrial stocks, including General Electric. Including General Electric, there are now 30 stocks listed in the Dow. They're called blue chips, stocks from companies that are financially strong and considered good investments. The Dow Jones average is one indication of how the U.S. economy is doing, and it hit a new milestone last week. It passed 25,000 points. But it's not just the Dow's new high mark that made news. It's the speed at which the index reached the record. For the Dow to go from 5,000 points to 10,000, which it did back in the 1990s, it took more than 3 years. The index just jumped from 20,000 points to 25,000 in less than 12 months. Analysts say this is because the U.S. economy is growing faster and that companies' profits are high. Some economists say it's possible for the economy to overheat, to grow too fast and cause inflation when prices rise and people aren't able to buy as much. That could trigger a series of actions that could reverse economic growth. Others say there's still plenty of room for the economy to grow without overheating. And if it does that, it's anyone's guess how high the Dow can go.
The most impressive milestone yet for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, 25,000. It's a psychological mark, but shows the explosive growth in stocks over the past year. The blue chips first hit 20,000 on January 6, 2017. By March, the Dow nailed 21,000. In early August, 22,000. In October, 23,000. Just 30 trading days after that mark, 24,000. Two key developments driving this 8-year-old bull market ever higher. First, President Trump's big push on tax reform. Investors cheered as Congress delivered a bill to the president's desk before Christmas. Corporations are a big winner, and Wall Street is betting companies will use their new spare cash to buy back stock and beef up their dividends. Second, corporate profits. Companies are making money and investors are optimistic about the future. So optimistic, it seems nothing can stop this rally. Not a growing nuclear threat from North Korea, not the Russia investigation, not a series of interest rate hikes. Dow 25,000 is here. The question now, can Dow 30,000 be far behind?
It's been said every dog has his day. I'm hoping today is that day for my Georgia Bulldogs. But Blakely is the name of a rescued Australian Shepherd who had his own day named after him by the city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Why? Because Blakely, who works at the Cincinnati Zoo, has served and succeeded as a nanny for a number of animals who are a far cry from his own species. It's today's 10 out of 10 and a great big story. Well, he is a shepherd, and he's helped an lot of others without trying to cheetah or outfox anyone by warthogging too much time, talking too much, or acting like some kangaroo wallaby. He's living a dog's life by being a best friend to everyone. I'm Carl Azus for CNN 10.